Welcome to Working Women Mentor, a podcast for women in business with a mentor mindset. If you're working on a business or in one, you'll meet women here who you want to learn from and that will inspire mentor moments in your life. Let's dive in and share stories, experiences, and mentor moments with these fabulous women. Here's your host, Rani Alfers.
Hey everyone, I'm Rani Alfers and hosting this episode 13. It's our final microcast, our final episode of the season 1. My goodness, we made it. So listen, I've been thinking so much about this episode. I wanted to make it a bonus, sort of that baker's dozen, number 13, that goes a bit above and beyond and give you my thoughts and my mentor moments that I'm so grateful for this season. Listening to and meeting the women that we've had as guests, and I'm sure you've listened to each episode. If you haven't, go back and listen to what they have to say and share. But listening to them from the podcast side and then being behind the scenes from idea of this podcast to getting it out on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else, the promotion, but meeting the guests. Some of these women I did not know before we had a conversation. And, the experiences that I've had in meeting these women and the mentor moments is really what has made this so wonderful, so thoughtful, and so intentional with what they are sharing. And I find that it's their generosity, the guest, are the women who you do want to know. In our intro, we say that, hey, you're going to meet people you want to know and learn from and share with. And I can't tell you how true that is when we have initially contacted everyone, when we've initially set up time in their schedule. They've been so thoughtful as to what would help the women and the listeners out there. Is there anything I can focus on? They've all just been an open book and so thoughtful. That's just the word that keeps coming to mind. So I know that you guys get to hear this on, the episode level, but just sharing my thoughts from the experience from when we press record to when we end the recording on our initial meeting, is that a lot of times we're still talking and I've, ended the episode, and what they say after we stop recording is so amazing and so wonderful. And I think speaks to what all women are probably thinking and feeling right now. And so, it's just those little tidbits, but reaching out is a key component of that, isn't it? Because not only are they accepting, these guests that we've had, accepting of being a part of the podcast, they're also wanting to give. And they've all reached out to someone in their lives. In fact, with all their success in individual ways, it is who they know. It is who they made the effort to meet, because we don't always just know these people. And I do believe that growth starts with you, but it does transpire with who is around you. And that has been my biggest takeaway from this season, is listening to each story, the generosity and time of each guest, and the powerful community around us of very strong women, very smart women, and women who care and they share and they want to give to others who may need it at that moment when they needed it back in their when they received their mentor moment. Season 2 kicks off October 6th. So we're going to take a very short break. But in the meantime, my ask is that you share your mentor moments with other women. If you want to share it through our podcast, please contact me at ranialfers.com/podcast 13. You'll find us on the website. You'll find me on Instagram. And reach out and, follow the advice of all these fantastic ladies. That's what they do. Reach out and grow their network. And if there's anything that you'd like to see on our next season, let me know. We're already interviewing. We're scheduling. We have some really wonderful things planned for season 2. And on just a personal note, but hoping you follow us and you share and you mentor as well. I can't thank you enough for listening and for sending messages and giving ideas and your support. And I've gotten screenshots in from people listening, like, hey, this is so cool. And those small things have just made my world, because to do this podcast was incredibly vulnerable for me. It was something that I postponed. It was something that I wasn't certain what to do, how to do it, wasn't certain of who would actually come on the show. I mean, there was so much uncertainty that I actually delayed it for about 6 months. And, through a conversation with someone that said, hey, stop overanalyzing it and really just focus on what you'd like, what you have to give. And what I have to give you guys is, I hope, what has come out of this podcast this season. And that's a strong believer in mentorship and sharing and being kind to other women and having that community of us around each other. And that's that is what is transpiring. And that's what's going to continue to grow in season 2. Thank you so much for listening to this microcast. And again, share, leave a review, spread the word, and I will see you live in season 2. Until then, thank you so much.